Yeah. So this was the week where we bought a vowel in the Wheel of Fortune puzzle that spells Trump is a fucking Nazi. According to a new book by Michael Bender, Trump, on a visit to Europe to mark the 100th anniversary of the end of the First World War, Donald Trump insisted to his then Chief of Staff, John Kelly, well, Hitler did a lot of good things. Bender reports that Trump made the remark during an impromptu history lesson in which Kelly reminded the president which countries were on which side during the conflict and connected the dots from the First World War to the Second World War and all of Hitler's atrocities. But Bender says that Kelly then told the president that he was wrong, and Trump was undeterred, emphasizing German economic recovery under Hitler during the 1930s. Kelly pushed back again, Bender writes, and argued that the German people would have been better off poor than subjected to Nazi genocide. Bender adds that Kelly told Trump that even if his claim about the German economy under the Nazis in 1933 were true, quote, you cannot ever say anything supportive of Adolf Hitler. You just can't. Okay, John Kelly, fucking woke police here. Here we go. Yeah, the only good thing that Hitler ever did was kill Hitler. That is it. And we made a joke about this on Newsbroke, but the right is probably like, yeah, and he never gets credit for killing Hitler. That's like literally they said that about slavery, that like, you know, Republicans ended slavery. We don't get credit for doing that.
I mean, why is this surprising? I mean, why is this surprising? I mean, is it really unexpected for Trump to say that Hitler did a lot of good things? I come from the Arab world, and by the way, people love Hitler as much as they love Saddam Hussein or Khomeini or whatever. The whole thing about the strong man taking the country, for them, is better than anything. It doesn't matter how many victims they are. They all think about like economy, prosperity. If you, I'm a big fan of The Handmaid's Tale. Gilead, after all of the stuff that they did in The Handmaids and the sex slavery that they did to all of those women, they just flaunted the fact that, hey, we fixed the air, which is like, we're very weird, like having a group of like religious conservatives being aware of climate change and actually fixing the climate, but they don't care. They look at it like, oh, prosperity, economy, a big thing. Humans don't count for those people.
Right. The trains ran on time, as they say.
Yeah, the whole thing about like the people who promote like Nazis or Stalin or Lenin or Mao Zedong, they just look at the big picture, look at the economy, look at the big buildings, look at the prosperity. It doesn't matter if that is all being done or made or erected over millions of victims. It doesn't matter. These are not important people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I would also say that, it really depends on your perspective in terms of the economy. And it really became highly monopolistic. And that's how it was so easy to become so fascistic on some level in Germany. But also, I got to say, Donald Trump's just an idiot. I mean, clinically, he's an idiot. Yeah. And I think somebody said that into his ear at one point, and it was probably one of his fascist friends, and so he just bought it, and he's right. trying to make himself seem smart. It's the same thing with like where he turns to Blix and says, has anybody thought about putting bleach into your to injecting yourself with bleach? I mean, that's my idea. I just want that down on the
right.
And I think that's what this dynamic is. And I'll also say John Kelly is a shit. He was a piece of garbage in terms of what he did with immigrants, and he just understood optics probably better than the idiot who was the president. Yeah. But he is also. I just don't want that to, so much of these stories we're getting about Trump are to basically make everyone around him see, whitewash their participation in this. And sure. Some levels, Donald Trump's an idiot and a pig, but he won the presidency. John Kelly agreed to work for him. And so, F John Kelly too.
Yeah, 100%. But I also yes, but also why are we treating Trump and the Republican Party like it's not an early stages Third Reich, right? Like, how is this? Like the guy, his ex-wife Ivana, said that he had like Mein Kampf on the bedside table. I'm a believe her on this one, right? And like I'm like I don't know why this. I know it's ridiculous to keep on talking about Trump, whatever, but like this, I feel like we still need to rub people's faces in this giant steaming pile of shit that has been our president, was our president, and is still out there, right? And yes, all the people who condoned him, but it's like, do you agree? Did Hitler do good things? Let's talk about it. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene out there comparing, you know, the Holocaust to vaccines over and over and over again.
Guys, the infatuation of Hitler, like by Hitler, is runs deep in American history. I mean, Henry Ford was the biggest proponent of Hitler, and he was almost awarded he was actually awarded some kind of like a high rank medal by Hitler, and Henry Ford wanted the Nazis to come to America for him and him to be a president. Yeah. But the thing is, the infatuation of the strongman is something that is very common all around the world. People are still reminiscing about Saddam Hussein or Gaddafi. It's like, hey, at least he kept the peace, at least he kept security, law and order. He had the economy running. It doesn't matter how many people die or rot in jail. Again, for them, humans are not important. So even if Hitler even he was like an economic marvel at that time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you create an incredible empire where you just like step on people and kill them. It doesn't matter. Right. I come from a part of the world that is full of strongmen and dictators who maybe we can argue that their countries prospered under them, but at the cost of thousands, even millions of lives that were killed and raped and imprisoned. Economic achievements should not be an excuse to oppress people.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why he.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I call Trump like head wound Hitler because he's like a bad fascist, like he's an idiot fascist. You know, he doesn't know how to do it well, and that's our saving grace. And what we have to look forward to is a fascist in the United States doing it well, which is very scary. And it's either Tucker Carlson or Stephen Miller.
And we should say, even on those, even if we were to accept Trump's terms, that the economy is really, you know, sort of overshadows the genocide, et cetera, et cetera. The economy in Germany wasn't so great by the end of Hitler's term, as it were. Right. You know, a couple of cities were flattened.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the Bitchuation Room podcast live stream. And while you're here, why don't you just subscribe to this channel? I promise it'll be good.